Hello, Oregon Country Fair family and beyond. I'm Caela Bailey of the Royal Famille du Caniveau. And as there is no fair this year, we find ourselves here on the World Wide Web. Now, for this year's online midnight show, I would like to share with you my version of a love letter to NOCF 2020. This will be the first year of my life that I will have not set foot on the banks of the Long Tom River in Veneta for the Oregon Country Fair. My gutter family first went there in 1980, and I followed just a few years later, attending for the first time at 4 months old. They began by playing the paths, becoming a fixture, and eventually getting the opportunity to build their own stage. We've been building that stage every year since, and in fact, this year would have been the 40th anniversary of the Royal Famille du Caniveau. This is the place that I felt the most free growing up. It's the first place I ever performed on stage. It's the place I had my first taste of freedom as a young teen. It's the place I had my first kiss, my first mushroom trip. This is the time of year that our extended family gathers and writes, creates, and performs shows for loving audiences. Now, we're just a small part of the picture that is OCF, but we all contribute to the culture and experience of the space. It is many different things to many people. Through my own life attending this festival, I have seen the challenges that arise as we move from the generation that founded and built the fair to the ones that inherited it. I know we have all experienced growing pains and can agree that there are areas for learning and change. What I hadn't always realized, that while this was the place that made me feel the most free and safe, it was simultaneously making others feel the opposite. As I have come into adulthood, I realize that this oasis is far from the perfect picture I created as a child. Our world is changing. It's forcing us to think critically and to think about how we want to address what it means to move forward. That work begins at home, and OCF is my home. So I must ask myself, how are we evolving and working to be better? We have critical issues to address within our own community that play into the bigger picture. Through many shared conversations and shared ideas, I have been led to 3 main concerns that I believe deserve more consideration. The first, how are we communicating with, respecting, honoring, and working with the Native people and the tribes of the Long Tom watershed, and centering their voices, as well as redistributing resources and sharing the land? Also, how are we addressing the systematic exclusionary practices and blind spots towards the experiences of Black, Indigenous, and communities of color in the space, including patrons, entertainers, vendors, crews, and staff? Lastly, how are we actively fighting against the perpetuation of a culture of sexual assault and abuse that does not center the victims nor create an environment of consent, accountability, and transparency? I could also get into the role of the patriarchy within the hippie culture, but I think we'll leave that for another day. As of right now, I know that the OCF Diversity Committee has issued a list of recommendations to the board that I would encourage us all to follow the progress of. Now, I want to stress that these points I'm making are ones that we are dealing with within our own community, within our own family, both inside and outside of the fair, and the entertainment community at large. So to all of us who value the magic that is OCF, I would ask, what do we believe is the purpose and intention of this festival? Is it a place to go and have a good time? Or do we believe this to be a revolutionary space? And either way, who gets to benefit from this event? Whose voices will we center moving forward? And how can we work together to create a safe space for us all and those who wish to come? Through activating my own awareness over the past few years, I've had to think about and act on my own complicity within these systems. I'm personally grateful that there's no OCF this year, We have a unique opportunity to take a break and choose how we want to move forward as a community. We need both systemic as well as individual reflection and commitment towards creating real and lasting change in order to make all people feel safe, seen, heard, and celebrated. Okay, so perhaps this is more of a tough love letter, but I truly love and believe in this community. I hope we meet again, but until then, let's get to work. Happy NOCF 2020. All my love to you.